and we're packing up to head to Liberia, where it's going to be about 85 degrees warmer. My name's Greg Whitman, and I am a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. My passport and my tickets, my malarial meds. 2 years ago, I would have never thought that I would be spending so much of my time going back and forth between Madison and Liberia. This is all happening because of a complete serendipitous meeting that I had meeting Emmanuel about a year ago in Madison. We'll have to check your coconut trees out this time.
My name is Emmanuel Urey. Here at UW-Madison, I'm a graduate student. I grew up in Liberia. Eventually, when I saw Greg, everything just seemed to come together. And from that day, since we met, it had been a change, entire change in my life. You look at the village that I grew up in.
I was asked to serve as a scholar consultant on a film that was going to be made about the roots of international conservation and colonialism. They had footage of 3 different expeditions. One was of a 1926 Harvard expedition to Liberia, which turned out to be a complete biological and medical survey of Liberia. And I met Emmanuel and I told him about this project, and then we watched the footage together.
I was just really overwhelmed when I saw it. This was my first time to hear about even the expedition, the Harvard expedition. This was and to see how life was in Liberia at that time.
Liberia had gone through a brutal 14-year civil war. Emmanuel himself grew up during the war.
And a lot of young people in my age group were born and grew up in that situation. So we don't know how the country looked like. So that's a knowledge gap. And I always think about how to bridge this knowledge gap between younger generation and older generation.
And when he saw it, he became impassioned about really taking it back to Liberia. I was originally just focusing on a book project, and when Emmanuel and I met and we went back to Liberia, we discovered the importance of this footage. That set us on this collaborative project together. The documentary, A Film Never Made, followed not only the footage as it's kind of taken up in Liberia again, but really also to follow Emmanuel's own personal story, which is a quite remarkable story of survival.
Right now, the basis of our work is geared towards helping the Land Commission to develop land policy.
You're using it as a ground to tell story. So when older people say, and then you ask them, at this time, how life used to be like, they will explain on and on how land tenure used to be like. So the footage is going to play that part, going back to the root. If you know the root of the problem, then to me, you can propose a solution.
And so it was so touching to see that, to see how important this material is and how important repatriating back to Liberia is, because this footage has never been seen in Liberia, ever.
So how can we use this footage to better our country in terms of solving land problems, in terms of restoring the cultural heritage of the country?
You know, the film is this amazing serendipity of all these connections that came together at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Yeah, it's a real embodiment of the Wisconsin idea and extending not just across the state really, but throughout the world.